What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. We had a big, not a big signing, but a pretty decent signing in baseball yesterday. The New York Mets signed Devin Williams, former Yankees, and prior to that, Milwaukee Brewers relief pitcher, to a 3-year deal worth $50 million. So I don't think I have to go deep into the whole Devin Williams career. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. For years, he was elite with the Milwaukee Brewers, one of the best relief pitchers in all of baseball. Started as a setup man and behind Josh Hader when Hader was still in Milwaukee with the Brewers. Was elite, eventually becomes their closer. Was just as elite, at least in the regular season, always had some playoff struggles. Last year, got dealt to the Yankees to take over their closing duties. Their Clay Holmes, they decided to move on from him. After he struggled as a closer, of course, became a star with the Mets last year. And really rough year for him last year. Ended with a 4.79 ERA. After finally losing the closer role for good in August, he did pitch better as in a lesser role. When they brought in David Bednar at the trade deadline, they also brought in Camille Doval at the trade deadline as well. So he's feels like a bounce back candidate because he was so good for a while. Every reliever has that one year where they're just off for whatever reason. Edwin Diaz has been one of the best relievers in baseball, was voted best reliever of the National League last year. With the Mets. Remember 2019, his first with the Mets, he was a train wreck. Hader had that one year. Josh Hader is one of the most intimidating relievers we've seen in the modern era. He had that one year in San Diego. He was just terrible. Last year he was good, but he was hurt. Every guy has that one year. Chapman, his last year in the Bronx, was horrible. We thought his career was over. He leaves, goes into the World Series in Texas, was amazing for Boston last year. He's still in Boston now. So it happened. I really think that's what it was for Devin Williams. Problem is, you got to resign that Edwin Diaz. You pair those two together. You still have Brooks Raley, a good left-hander. You add another piece or two in that bullpen. But all of a sudden, this bullpen, which was very bad last year, is kind of bare bones right now. Starts to kind of come together. But now, if you let Diaz go and Devin closes, you're really, really gambling. And all of a sudden, that depth in your bullpen, which already looks bad, is still really bad. Even with the Williams signing, gets even worse. So I think that you have to resign Edwin Diaz. I know that they have a lot of money that they have to spend this off season. You want to bring back Pete Alonso, who might need close to $30 million a season. With trading Brandon Nimmo away from Marcus Semien, you save like $4 million with that move. You got to go out and sign a big bat in the outfield. Hopefully Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger. So you have a lot of things to do. You need to bring in a big name starting pitcher. I heard they're going with a former Valdez, who could command close to $30 million a season. But you have the richest owner in the sport, have more money than anybody in the sport. Maybe besides the Dodgers and maybe the Yankees. Richest owner in the sport, no salary cap, take advantage. Go out and spend the money. But Devin Williams is a Met, 3 years, $50 million. Let's get into some football. Monday Night Football was last night. We had Patriots and Giants. Patriots easily win 33-15. It was 30-7 at the half. Patriots didn't even try in the second half. They didn't really have to. Drake May, 24 of 31, 282 yards, two touchdowns, and another very good game for him. 73 yards receiving for Hunter Henry. Jackson Dart returned to the lineup. Didn't make that much of a difference, obviously. Patriots are 11-2, have the best record in the NFL. Giants are now 2-11 in the season, and said they believe they have the second pick in the NFL draft.
Don't give up anything.
Number 8 defense in the league. Coming into week 13, Gillen hits it. And the return by Marcus Jones. He can fly. Still going. Still going. No flags. Touchdown, Patriots. Commanders showed what kind of competitors they are last night in that thriller on Sunday Night Football. Dart's going to go and gets popped. Here's one to the end zone, and Kayshon Boutte. 7-yard try now by Younghoe Koo, and he stumbled. Gillen gets swallowed up. Patriots ball. There it is. Whoops.
So the highlights there kind of showed you it was a perfect microcosm of how it things went last night. It was just all Patriots from the start. You blinked and it's 10-0 Patriots in the first quarter. It was 7-0 pretty early in the second quarter. At that point, you knew the game was over. First quarter, Patriots up 3-0. Jimmy Gilliam punched the football. Marcus Jones fields that in someone's 6 yard line, which is usually pretty risky. Doesn't matter. He takes it all the way the other way for a 94-yard return touchdown. Marcus Jones, one of the best returners in all of football. Has been for a couple of years, and now it's 10-0. And then I think it was the next drive. Uh, all right, I want to talk about Jackson Dart. He has all the talent in the world to be a great quarterback in this league. He showed it in the several games he's played with the Giants this year. Somebody needs to teach this kid. You have to slide or get out of bounds. You've been in the concussion protocol like 3 times. You've been in the blue tent 3 or 4 times this year, maybe even 4 or 5. You've only played, what, 6 games? It's your rookie year. You already missed 2 games of a concussion. You got popped again last night. Someone's got to teach him. Whether it's someone who won't even be here next year, like Mike Kafka, another one on his staff, Joe Shane, the GM, but he might even be here next season. Former New York Giants. The owner, John Mara, his mother, call him and tell him. I don't care. Someone needs to tell him. You gotta slide. I know after the game he says, "Oh, I'm not gonna change my play style. We're playing football, not soccer." And I get what he's saying. And kudos to him for popping right back up after that hit, especially after he missed the last 2 games with a concussion because he took too many hits. I'm not saying change your play style. Your play style is perfectly fine. You're very good. You have a chance to be great in this league for a long time. It looks like the Giants finally found their franchise quarterback that they've been searching for since Eli Manning retired after the 2019 season. Obviously, Daniel Jones wasn't it for them. I've had a separation of lovers that have started even in the Daniel Jones era. None of them were even close to it. You may have found something with this kid, Jackson Dart. I think you have. But if he keeps taking hits like that, he's going to flame out of the league very quickly. We don't want to see another situation like a Robert Griffin III or an Andrew Luck, to an extent, to Tua with the Dolphins. He's got to protect himself more. I'm not saying change your play style. He's a great athlete. Part of what makes Jackson Dart is his ability to make plays with his legs and improvise. Don't shy away from that. Absolutely not. But you got to slide and you got to go out of bounds. You can't take hits with that every single week. You just can't do that and expect to not to just wear on you over the years. You gotta slide. You got to get out of bounds. Okay, someone's gotta teach him. Drake May, on the other hand, a lot of really nice plays. That beautiful lob, back shoulder lob to Keisha Butte. Drake May, he throws that back shoulder really well, about as well as anyone in the league. He's something he's very, very good at. And also, what the hell was that from Younghoe Koo? It's 17-7, halfway through the second quarter, a little bit more than halfway through the second quarter, 6.5 minutes left in the second quarter. 47-yard field goal, you make it. It's a one-score game. You can get a stop. All of a sudden, you might have a football game. And you just muff. I've never seen that. He stuck his foot into the ground. You saw I showed the slow-mo as well during that clip. It was a bit of a messy hold by Gilliam. He kind of bobbled it a little bit and didn't get it down perfectly, but he still got it down. And I don't know if even watching the slow-mo clip over and over again as I was making the clip yesterday, I couldn't understand. I can't tell, does his back foot get stuck and he just kind of tripped? Did Gilliam put the ball too far forward? He literally he stuck his foot in the ground. It's like he thought the football was gonna be further. It wasn't gonna be further back. I don't understand. I've never seen it before. The Giants are such a mess. 2-11. They had a couple times they turned it over on downs. You fumbled a kickoff. Just try to make it. Now Tyrone Tracy, who's your top running back with Cam Scattle up of the year, he was carted off. Who knows if we see him the rest of the year? Gunnar Olszewski, he's one of your best special teams players. Of course, he threw that touchdown with trick back to Jameis Winston last week, or 2 weeks, two weeks ago at this point. He got hurt with a concussion. Probably won't play for maybe a week or two. They're just such a mess. Honestly, sit Jackson Dart. You don't need to say anything more from him. You know that right now, going forward, he's going to be your guy. You think he's your franchise quarterback. He's going to be the starter next year. Behind that offensive line, his best receiver is Wanda Robinson, who's probably had a very good year, but he's not the number one wide receiver. Their top running back right now, really the only one I think that's on the roster that anyone's ever heard of, is Devin Singletary, who's now starting running back in this league. They were good number two back. He had a good game last night, but not starting back in this league, not a three down back. The offensive line is terrible. The defense can't get any stops. Didn't look any better, even with the coordinator change. The car looked a little bit better, but he's still been a major disappointment this year. They're 2-11. They're 0-8 on the road. Just pack it in, get, first, second, third pick, and take the best player available, trade down, do whatever you want to do. But there is no point. They're going to be on bye with the New York Giants. Those last four games, there is no point to play him. I do not see a point of playing him. Jameis Winston, I can't imagine he'll be on the team. He's going to be afraid at the end of the year. He's an older player. Um, I don't see the point of running him out there next year. Of him, he probably be on the team. I don't see the point. I don't see the point of running Dart out here the rest of the year. Start James the last 4 weeks of the season. Save Jackson Dart. There's no reason that he should be out there the rest of the season. Let's look at the NFL standings in the playoff picture. Are in the home stretch of what's been absolutely wild, crazy, and insane NFL season this year. AFC East New England Patriots, much hate to say it, they are back. They have won 10 in a row. They are 11-2. They are absolutely rolling. Their point differential is the looks like the third best in all of football. Only two teams that are higher are the Seahawks and the Rams. They are just rolling right now. You got the Bills with 8-4. Or second place, Dolphins 5-7. They have won their last few games. Up on 3 Russell 5 with GM, which is kind of weird. Just 3-9. They have the Jets. AFC North is a mess. You have the Ravens technically in first at 6-6. Just had a brutal loss to the Bengals. Steelers also 6-6. They're also a mess. Bengals are 4-8. All of a sudden they're alive. Browns are 3-9. AFC South is just a perfect example of this season. The Jaguars are 8-4, currently in first place in that division. That's just crazy. They've had a good year, even with the struggles of Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter being on the shelf. Brian Thomas has missed time as well. Indianapolis Colts are also 8-4. They've cooled off a little bit since that just incredible start to start the year. They have lost their last two. Devin doesn't play through an injury, but they're 8-4. Houston 7-5. They've gotten hot. Obviously, the Titans are 1-11. They are officially out. They officially won the playoff contention 1-11. They are brutal. They've lost 7 in a row. Denver's 10-2, leading the AFC West. Again, just like what? Chargers are 8-4. Chiefs 6-6. Chiefs are in some trouble. And the Raiders are 2-10. They are just god awful. Now lost 6 games in a row. After the corner, Chip Kelly's already been fired. Pete Carroll's probably next. The NFC East going to the NFC. Eagles 8-4. These last 2 games they have struggled. You blow up 3 touchdowns to Dallas. You lose to the Bears this past week. The offense is really struggling. You got Dallas at 6-5-1. They've won 3 in a row all of a sudden. Commanders are 3-9, obviously. Disappointing year for them. The Giants are 2-11. They're now officially eliminated from playoff contention. They have made the playoffs just twice since their Super Bowl win back in 2011. NFC North, the Chicago Bears are in first place. I don't get it. They've now won 5 in a row. Packers 8-3-1. They're playing some good football right now. They've won 3 in a row. Offense still a little bit wonky. Also, they have injuries to the receiving core right now. They're 8-3-1. Lions 7-5. They're in a bit of trouble. Playoffs might be a little bit bleak for them. And the Vikings are at 4-8. They just have maybe the worst quarterback room I've ever seen. J.J. McCarthy is the worst quarterback in the NFL. Max Brosmer's not worse than him. And Carson Wentz, who's hurt, is obviously not very good. Tampa Bay Buccaneers still waiting to see at 7-5. They're hanging by a thread. They've been struggling lately, though. A lot of injuries. The Panthers are 7-6. I don't understand them. 1 week they go on the road and beat a great team. Next week they play a crappy team at home and get embarrassed. They either look like a top 10 team in the NFL or like they should be playing in Division 2. But they're 7-6, a half game out of first place. Falcons are 4-8. They suck. And the Saints are 2-10. They've already been eliminated from playoff contention as expected. They are horrible. So Tucker Shuck hasn't looked that bad. NFC West, Rams are 9-3. So they're still rolling. Tough loss to Carolina this past week. Stafford with 3 turnovers, but still playing really well. great team. Seattle's 9-3. That's a really good team as well. They actually had the best point differential in the entire league. They're 9-3. San Francisco's 9-4. Kudos to them for hanging through all the injuries. And Arizona's 3-9. They are officially eliminated from playoff contention. They just had a brutal season. Obviously, the whole Kyler Murray debacle. Brissett's looking a lot better than him. Arizona Coast are 3-9 on the year. Looking at the playoff picture specifically, starting in the AFC, Patriots are the 1, 2, and 11-2. Denver's the 2 seed at 10-2. Jacksonville's a 3 seed at 8-4. Rams are the 4 seed at 6-6. All three wildcards are at 8-4. The Chargers were 2 games out of the division, which seems wild because of how many injuries they have. The Colts are 8-4. They drop into the wild card after they lost to Houston this past week. Bills are the last team in right now at 8-4. Houston's only a game out, also only a game out of their division. Pittsburgh technically tied with the Ravens right now. Um, Chiefs, I mean, they're 2 games out right now. Division looks pretty much out of reach, but 2 games out of a playoff spot. If they lose to Houston this week, that'll probably be honestly, be the in the coffin for the season. Somehow Miami's still alive. I don't get it. The AFC makes no sense. Like the Bengals are nowhere close to the wild card, but they're 2 games out of their division, and it's actually feasible they could win out. It makes no sense. Like, how the Jets and Browns still alive? How the Jets still alive? I know they're gonna be alive this week, but come on, what is that? NFC, the Bears are the number 1 seed in the NFC. No, you are not on whatever drug you think you're on. The Chicago Bears are the number 1 seed in the NFC. I don't get it. 2 seats the Rams at 9-3, 3 seats the Eagles at 8-4, 4 seats Tampa at 7-5. Seattle's the first wild card at 9-3. Packers are the second wild card at 8-3-1. The Niners are the last team at 9-4. Just ridiculous. The Lions right now are 2 games out of a playoff right now, as well as their division. Things looking pretty bleak for them. Schedule's a little bit tough down the stretch. Dallas is only like 2 or a game and a half because they have that tie out of their own division. Carolina's only a half game out of their division, and then that's the only teams that are really in the hunt. I don't know, but wait, I don't know how the Commanders are still not mathematically eliminated, but the Cardinals are. That's just wild. That is your playoff picture in the NFL right now. We had a couple of college football hires. There was a bunch to happen over the last week or so, last couple of days that I went through yesterday. But Kentucky has hired Will Stein, the offensive coordinator from Oregon. I think it's a really good hire for Kentucky, who obviously their offense has become very stale these last few years under Mark Stoops. The winningest coach in their program has they let go of him. Will Stein is a kid who's from Louisville. He grew up a Kentucky fan. I think he played at Kentucky as well. Has done a really good job as the offensive coordinator at Oregon under Dan Lanning. Has had a lot of great offenses. He's been a bit of a quarterback whisperer. What he did with Dylan Gabriel, what he did with Dante Moore this season. They won a Big Ten title game last year. They got close to being in that game this year. Oregon's consistently had a lead offense under Will Stein. I think this is a very good hire for Kentucky. A really good fit. I think this is a fantastic hire for the Kentucky Wildcats. And UCLA is having their new coach. They hire Bob Chesney from JMU. So this is a very risky hire. This seems like it's very boom or bust. Um, Bob Chesney has been at JMU these last 2 years, and he has done a fantastic job. Don't get me wrong; he's done a great job. They are still have a chance to make the playoff if they win this week and get a little help. They could get into the playoff. UCLA is going to let him coach out the rest of the year. With JMU, and then they'll finalize things after the playoff. Lane Kiffin, please take some notes. That's how this thing should be done. But he's actually only been a Division I coach for 2 years. Before this, he coached a D3 program. Then he was at Assumption, which is a D2 program. Then he was at Holy Cross for like 6 years. And then Drew Grant, he did a very good job. They won the Patriot League pretty much every single year. And then these last years he's been at JMU. So this is he continues to climb the ladder. Now he's been kind of an up and coming name in coach ranks for a while now. Is he ready for UCLA? I don't know, but we're about to find out. He is now the next coach of UCLA. In a perfect world, this ends up being a home run hire, and UCLA may have a legit football program. If not, maybe the jump was too soon, and they kind of continued to flail, and this won't end very well. But UCLA hires JMU coach Bob Chesney. Kentucky hires Oregon offensive coordinator Will Stein. WWE Monday Night Raw recap. Sort of, it was Rhea Ripley and EL Sky coming out together, cutting a promo, saying they wanted to go after the women's tag team championships. Of course, how about the Kabuki Warriors? Then they were interrupted by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and those four went at it. And then that set up the main event, which was those two teams having a tag team match. Then we had last time is now tournament semifinal match. Jey Uso against LA Knight, and LA Knight, yeah, picked up the win. Huge win for LA Knight. I was worried they were gonna have Jey Uso go over again like they always do, but LA Knight picked up the win. Good match. He advances to the finals of the last time is now tournament with a chance to fight John Cena in his final match on the line. So Jey Uso crashing out afterwards, just throwing stuff all over the ring. Then we had Dom Mysterio promo. He comes out with the Judgment Day. Sans Liv Morgan. He thanked Finn and JD for helping him win back the IC title from John Cena. Thank for Kevin Roxanne. And then he brought out Liv Morgan, who of course had her shocking return at Survivor Series. And she said how, I've been hearing Judgment Day is weak and we lost some gold, but we got to get back on top. Of course, he slapped Dom and then jumped into his arms to close things out. I'm sure a lot of people were a bit jealous of Dom Mysterio in that moment. Then we had the World Tag Team Championships were defended AJ Styles and Dragon Lee against the New Day. Styles and they pick up the win. That was a really great finish to that match. Really, really good match. These two together have great chemistry. Just two excellent in-ring wrestlers. Styles, from an in-ring perspective, is one of the greatest ever. Dragon Lee is one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world. They've been great together. This run's been a lot of fun, and they went to NXT right afterwards, and they said we want to defend the titles again next week, and they're gonna do it against the War Raiders, who lost the World Tag Team titles back at WrestleMania to the New Day, who they just beat. Then we had that little video package with Maxine Dupree and Natalia. Natalia was helping her, train, very intensely. It looks like Dupree's gonna feud with Ivy Naya for the IC title. It looks like that'll be her first feud. In the Vision promo, we had the Bronze, Heyman, and Logan Paul. But get Logan Paul out of the Vision. He does not fit the Vision at all. Not in the slightest. When it comes to Logan Paul, look, he's a very talented in-ring guy, great athlete. Aside from what he does outside of the ring, he's not playing a character. He's playing himself. He's just being himself. Like, you're not creative. You're not good at this, even. Like, here we should go to AEW. I'm not even kidding. I mean, they have enough YouTube stars over there with the... Who's the Boom guys? Was it the Costco guys? I don't know what they're called anymore. AJ and Big Justice. Go do right over there. I mean, AEW loves all these great flips and, YouTube stars and not good storytelling. But Logan Paul, go over there. WWE prides themselves, I know the booking is awful in WWE, but they do pride themselves on legitimately telling stories. It's not all about just crazy flips. They actually do try and build their storylines and build these feuds and build these guys up. He needs to leave. He needs to leave. It will never happen with the influence that Prime has. But Braun Breaker cut just an incredible promo on CM Punk. It looks like those two are gonna be Punk's next man that he'll meet for the World Heavyweight Championship. That promo was incredible. The best of his career. He's gotten a lot better on the mic. Remember a while back he had that awful promo with Roman Reigns. It was pretty bad. Ever since then, I feel like he's gotten better and better and better and better. I wonder if that promo with Braun against Roman will be similar to Roman's promo against Cena years ago, where Cena just ate him alive, and then from there, seems like that was a turning point for Roman Reigns. A little bit after that, he ends up getting the character change that he needed, and then he went from, a guy who was kind of a butcher on the mic to one of the best ever on the mic. I'm not saying Brown will be that, but that seemed like a similar turning point in his career. Because that promo was straight heat. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And we had on their last time was now tournament semifinals, Gunther against Solo Sikoa. Great match. Gunther wins, fends off the shenanigans from Tamatanga. Very good match between the two. I'm not on the Gunther to be seen as less opponent train. I would much rather be LA Knight. But this is the right move to have him beat Solo. Solo's obviously not going to be seen as less opponent. If he fights LA Knight, we all know who's winning the match. Make us surprised. Hopefully LA Knight wins. He deserves it. I would love to see John Cena put the guy over. That could already catapult him, I think, into the next stratosphere of his career, which we've all been wondering why he hasn't gotten there yet, why he hasn't been pushed there yet. Hopefully that means, leads to maybe a Royal Rumble win or a world title shot and eventually having gold at some point, whether it be soon or later or WrestleMania, something like that. Gunther he doesn't need it to me. Like they could put on a great match, great finish with Gunther going over. They kind of writes itself, but he doesn't need this. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Like, he doesn't need John Cena to put him over. And I get it. Maybe you make him as like a guy like, oh, he retires legend, he retired Goldberg, now he retires Cena. A lot of people think eventually he'll retire Brock Lesnar down the line, but just he doesn't need to put John Cena over. Or John Cena doesn't need to put him over. That doesn't need to happen. Like it doesn't need to happen whatsoever. But Gunther beats Sol Sikoa. And the main event, Rhea and Io against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss ends in a no contest because the Kabuki Warriors get involved, ends up being a double disqualification. Then Bayley and Lyra Valkyria come out and fend them off. But then the Judgment Day, Raquel, Roxanne, and Liv Morgan all come out. And remember, first Raquel and Roxanne pick up the women's tag titles, and then Roxanne hands it to Liv, and Liv hands it back to her and put their arms up. So Liv, for now, is supporting Raquel Rodriguez, and even more surprisingly, Roxanne Perez. So you will see where that goes. Obviously, Pierce had some conversations backstage about who the mystery man was. He said that like he told one of the referees to try and find out whatever you can. I'm hearing that like people are seeing Seth Rollins without his sling, but the medical people are saying he's not cleared. How could you have climbed the cage like that? Referee reports back and saying everyone says that they get Seth Rollins. AJ Styles asked him about it. He says, from what I'm hearing, it's Seth Rollins. I don't know. I don't think it's Seth. You gotta remember, that guy moved really nimbly. How he climbed out of the cage with that. I don't see Seth Rollins doing that if his shoulder is still banged up. Also, his knees are cooked. He's had how many knee problems does that guy have? No, and honestly, I could see it being Sami Zayn. My thing is, Chris Jericho, I don't think it makes a ton of sense to me. I would love this Chris Jericho. But Chris Jericho's like 53 years old. You think Chris Jericho's moving like that? Let's be real. A lot of people have said Austin Theory. That's a popular one. That could be. Uh, but I think same thing would make sense. Remember, Heyman always loved Sami when he was in the Bloodline, always supported him. Maybe the offer is still on the table for them to join forces. That was a while ago. Sami's kind of need the character change for a while now. I feel like he's gonna catapult into the World Title scene, maybe get into the potential to win the Royal Rumble category. I think being a heel would help that a lot. You saw the work he did with the Bloodline was just fantastic when he was a heel at one point. And so I think it'll make a lot of sense. Him and Seth Rollins are close in and out of the ring. You think of the stature of the guy, kind of lines up. He's a guy that kind of could move like that. He just lost that 5-on-5 match last week on SmackDown to the MFTs. He got pinned by Solo Sikoa. This is off the heels of losing the U.S. title to Ilya Dragunov. Maybe he just snaps. So I think it'll make a lot of sense, but only time will tell. Looking forward to SmackDown, and of course we got NXT tonight. So I got for you guys today. Till next time, so long. Have a great day.